All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is your General Greene here, saluting all of you. God bless. It is a extremely lucky, blessed 28th of July day. Please like and share because this video is going to be a massive blessing for all of you tuning in. It's going to be game-changing and life-changing. It's going to plant the seed of a thought, which is life. Again, God creates life. He created light. And that is actually what an idea and a thought is. It is light. And so light manifests itself, becomes reality, and moves through a door. So you need to understand what you think about does not recede. It actually grows into the future. Whatever you fixate and whatever you set your mind to actually becomes your physical manifestation of reality. It tells us this in the Bible. For example, that, just the faith of a mustard seed will move a mountain. So you choose what to accept and what to not accept in your life. For example, you could set self-limiting factors like, hey, this is the reason I'm not successful. You can blame other people. You can set back your own thoughts and you can enter and recede into that mindset, or you can walk through the door in your own life. In fact, even in the Bible, God says that at one point where he says basically that, not only I am, but he is the door. I am the door. So you must walk through it, just like you hold his hand as you walk through the valley of the shadow of death. And this applies to everything, your emotional spirit, your spiritual spirit, your relationship spirit, your financial spirit, your business spirit. Again, for example, you can get a negative headline and you can believe that to be reality and it'll change your entire state of being. Or you can throw it in the trash. So for example, in 2020, with all that negativity, throw it in the trash. Again, what you believe becomes your reality. So we have some big updates today. Again, we were pushing new record highs over the weekend. Congratulations to you all. We're consolidating. Massive opportunity. I'm calling August autism, all-time high August. So all-time autistic August is here. It'll be bigger than jubilant July. It'll be bigger than anything you've ever seen. Ethereum on its way, about to crush 4,000 as I predicted. I also 5x'd my position in Donald Trump's meme coin, Trump. That's $Trump. 5x that position over the weekend as well. Might even pick up a little bit more today. So this is massively bullish. I want you to understand how life-altering this is for all of you tuning in. Let me show you a chart here for a minute, because the Bitcoin chart is absolutely extraordinary and performance speaks for itself. Take a look at this as a price of a single Bitcoin has skyrocketed since I've been recommending it over the last 15 years. Look at this. Now I want you to ask yourself an important question. How does this make you feel? How does this make you feel? What do you think about this chart? Look, this is where I was recommending it right here, right down there. Now, there's been peaks and valleys, peaks and troughs, buying opportunities, chairs in the pool, all on the way. This is where we are today. And by the way, this is going much, much higher. Ask the question how that makes you feel, because a lot of people have been setting their self-limitations on their own opportunity, thinking it's hard to get rich. It's not hard to get rich. What's hard is changing your mindset. That's why I wrote the book. I'm going to put it back into production, actually. Probably write a new prologue into it and add maybe a chapter or two. But my book, which is now iconic, Think and Grow Bitcoin Rich by Christopher Greene, is mostly about changing your mindset. Again, making money is easy. Changing your mindset is hard. For example, I had a wonderful lady in La Jolla. She was my driver, and she's driving me through town, and she was an author, but she had yet to publish a book. And as she began to share herself with me, she revealed things to me that I could perceive as she had been setting her own self-limiting factors in her life. For example, very talented, brilliant woman, a very happy, jubilant, to use that word again, really cool person, like with a good heart. And I could tell that she was talented. But as she started to reveal herself, I could tell she had self-limiting factors. For example, based on her race and the color of her skin, she began telling me and revealing all these reasons why she isn't where she wants to be. And she kept telling me about what was setting and holding herself back. And I was thinking to myself, and I did give her some advice from my heart, was that you're actually the only one self-limiting yourself. In fact, all of that is a fiction and it's not real. But because you believe it, it is real. For example, if you want to acquire something like a car or a Learjet, the first thing you have to do is envision yourself with the acquisition. You have to feel it. You have to bring your feeling and emotion and your idea and the spark of life and light, which God created because God is light, into that universe. You have to smell it. You have to touch it in your mind. You have to bring it through the door of the universe, and then you will have that thing. This is a construction of creating your own reality. Again, for example, negative headlines are hitting you all day long. You can choose whether or not you accept that or not. Someone else could tell you something about yourself, and you're choosing whether or not you accept that as a reality. In fact, someone else might say it's because of the color of your skin that they want to hold you down, or there's some other reason why they want to hold you down, or there's some other obstacle or limiting factor, but you can choose whether or not you decide to accept that as your reality. You'll find once you accept a better reality, you fixate on your chief aim in life. You bring it into the universe and you construct it into motion, that all will fall into line. People will start showing up in your life just because they are also walking through their own doors and they are attracted to that vibration and is what we sometimes call frequencies. Now, again, I'm not into the law of attraction or anything like that. I'm referring to God. I'm referring to actually who God is. Again, the faith of a mustard seed can move a mountain. For example, I'm living proof of that, and I show you that every single day. That again, ideas are actually the most powerful things that you bring into reality. For example, you don't need money to make money. All you need is an idea. All you need is change of mindset. And then you have to bring it in through the door, energetically through frequency that then creates and constructs the reality. Because again, time and space really is a figment in a way of the imagination. And that your imaginativeness in the feelings you possess, more importantly, how you react. So let's explain that too. Based on maybe the good and bad things that happen in your life, you'll be able to recognize what you really believe by your reaction. When good things happen, what is your reaction? When bad things happen, what is your reaction? Again, the reactionary state is actually the core of your being and your belief system. So I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to happen in August. Again, life-changing. Life-changing gains, new all-time highs. I've coined it the autism all-time high August. And that's exactly what's going to happen. These charts will obliterate much, much higher. You're going to see this across Bitcoin and Ethereum, and you're going to see it across Trump coin. You're going to see it across RSR, my number one pick, my 1000x pick. It'll continue to skyrocket, and it's going to continue to go to the moon. I know this because of God, and I also know this because it's the reality that I choose to accept. For example, I've been shopping Learjets recently, and I've been thinking about the benefits of full-time ownership of a Learjet, what that could actually bring and what that would mean. For example, a lot of people would think that that would be a setback because a Learjet is so expensive. But based on my calculations, I actually make more money with a Learjet than I do without a Learjet. Do you understand? So I'm using that as an example that, again, whatever you put your mind to and fixate on, what you're touching in your mind, what you're imagining into your world becomes your reality. And I guarantee you, within about a month, I will own that Learjet. I guarantee it. Again, that's how you attract things, but that isn't the focus of your attraction. Again, the focus of your attraction is purpose and mission and a state of being, and to find your best self within the vision. So understand that the best things, for example, I'm speaking of my own reality, is the journey of the reality, working towards the reality and not the fixed destination. When I was playing sports, I was a Division I All-American water polo player. I was best in class, one of the top players in the world. I was recruited all across the country, from Cal Berkeley to UC Irvine. I started as a sophomore on varsity. I was recruited without any experience and went on to become, again, an All-American who later started as a Division I NCAA starter at George Washington University as a freshman. But again, that journey was about always believing. I, for example, in sports, had many moments where I saw the outcome before it happened. I could see the goal being made and the championship win occur before it was actually brought into reality. There's one game specifically I scored 4 goals, and my coach, Jeff Ehrlich, said he'd never seen a shot from half court skip and not sail above the goal. He said it was the only shot that he ever saw that skipped, a skip shot, type of shot, water polo, that came from half court and barred in from the top of the goal that actually made it. The interesting thing about that is I saw that goal made. It was almost an out-of-body experience because I saw it in the spirit before I even picked up the ball. So before the motion of picking up the ball, I had already seen the action before I had even released it into the reality, because again, it's an open door. My wife will say this about me, even my father will say, they'll say that I have a gift to be able to create reality that doesn't exist and then bring it into existence, almost like painting a Van Gogh or bringing in something to reality. Did you know that Leonardo da Vinci, as he was painting the Last Supper of Jesus Christ, would fixate and see in his mind as he was painting it and sit there for hours, praying, meditating, and seeing and walking through the door. 4 hours later, he would make one single brush stroke and then walk away for the day. I want you to think about the power of the brush stroke in your own life. So you must be attentive. You must look at your reactions and also your actions. Again, if you're confident in yourself, if something bad happens to you and you know your own success is a guarantee, you'll react much differently. You'll no longer feel things like jealousy. You will no longer see the world in the capacity as the world has programmed you to think. Again, many people have set the self-limiting factors based on the institutionalization of the mind. So you have to unwork your mind into the reality that you want it, and you really truly have to free it from those chains. So this is an extraordinary time in history. August will be the biggest up-only month that we have ever seen. By the way, we are closing islandproject.com imminently. It is your last chance to get in, especially as we've had Edward M. move in with another $36,000 cost average into one of our major tiers. Thank you, sir. Also, the Brighton Group committing to $250,000 over the weekend. And also, Larry, you know who you are, God bless you, committing to $1 million here at islandproject.com. Congratulations. We're so excited to be on this journey with all of y'all. Also, the Q Trust, now committing to one of our major tiers, funding over the weekend an additional 120 grand. And also Jack F. coming in with his first DCA with his letter of commitment and signatures on one of our major tiers. So you have very little time left to get in, and I encourage you to get in to participate in this. Again, how does this make you feel, this chart? I want you to keep in mind that there's been 2 major moves that I've made in my life, now 3. 1, starting a social media channel in 2008 and 09, quitting my job at Merrill Lynch and going all in creating content. That was considered crazy. That was considered lunacy. Some people wouldn't talk to me again. Others said you wouldn't make any money. That is precisely how I made my first tens of millions of dollars, was in social media. My second major move was going all in Bitcoin and rededicating and dedicating my entire platform, not to Bitcoin, but to you, to make you rich so you could manifest, think and grow Bitcoin rich, the future that I knew that you would need to provide the God-given light and tools so that you could walk through that door to do powerful things in the world on behalf of Christ. And so 10 to 15 years ago, I went all in Bitcoin, and I had about 200,000 subscribers stop following me, and they told me Bitcoin was a scam. And they told me that right here. Now, today, we're here, and everyone that's taken my advice, because it came from God, you're walking through the door of God, is now rich. The third biggest move, and that is how I've made most of the big gains, and in terms of what people would call in the world your net worth, etc., has come from, again, those two major moves, those absolute specific chief aims, those movements into the reality that you want to construct in your own life, and then facing opposition and going against all odds, and then never quitting and choose to believe your own reality, which has now sent us to about 120K Bitcoin, soon to be 15 million per Bitcoin. The third major move that I've made, I'm speaking from my own experience in my life, is building, starting, and founding along with you islandproject.com, which is now successfully funded and about to close $33.5 million of no bank debt, cash flow producing, large capital gains, and 1,000x tokenizing event solution to the world's problems that currently exist. That's my third major move, and it's made me a billionaire. And all of my members are rich already because they're already energetically stepping through the door. For example, 10 years ago, about 10 or 15 years ago, I made a video that went viral about Bitcoin. It was so impassioned, it almost gave me a panic attack after I produced it. It received millions of views. I shockingly declared to the world that Bitcoin would make you rich. I was behind my studio a lot younger, and I'm screaming about, oh my gosh, and I wrote a check to myself for $100 million and said, I'm going to cash this in the future. Well, that check has already been cashed. Because again, I was walking through the door of my own reality, choosing to what I believed, manifesting and proclaiming through God, through the faith and just the power of a little mustard seed to move the mountain, and then to allow God to transition that reality to where you tuning in want to be. So again, I'm revealing to you today the secrets to life, the secrets to time, and the secrets to manifesting and bending your whole world and your reality. For example, we're hearing a lot of negative news in the press about the list or Donald Trump or the vitriolic politics, or there's so much hate in society, there's so much negativity, but we can choose whether or not, and you can choose and decide whether or not you choose to accept that as truth or not truth. By not choosing, and by choosing to not accept it, your truth becomes something different. Again, there is one truth and there's only one God, and there is only one reality. Go to the word for that, go to Jesus Christ the King. But the point is, your mind is an important facet of your journey to success. Again, I mentioned this last week, that there's a lot of people supposedly successful in this world that have quote unquote made it. Maybe they drive a Ferrari, or they have a net worth that's significant, or it appears that they've done what you're supposed to do in the world. But if you look under the hood closely, you'll notice something very big is missing that they don't have, that they've actually missed the biggest part of the ride and the experience, and that is finding truth, faith in God, and purpose, in a mission statement that they believe in, that they create through action in their reality, that is really the real gain. Again, your gain isn't the trophy at the end of the day. It's not even the success point. For example, as we acquire more and more properties, and as I make my members rich, and by the way, we are adding more properties as we speak. We currently own already, with no bank debt, 6 mansions across Hawaii, Maui, the Big Island, Mauna Kea, Park City, and Deer Valley, and also Waikiki. It's not the acquisition where I feel the most joy, or the day of when the accomplishment is met. No, it's the journey to the accomplishment. It's walking through the door daily with purpose in life and having a passion for what it is you do. Donald Trump, for example, has promised the golden age. He has promised up only. He has promised that he is going to turn the key in your life to record Bitcoin profits. This is even where he's putting his own money, along with his sons, Eric, Barron, and the rest of them. Their investments are made into Bitcoin and Ethereum and other assets like it, and also stablecoin infrastructure, which is being moved forward by the state. David Sachs, the crypto Cesar, and others in the consortium that are building the new Fort Knox, which is replacing gold and has now become Bitcoin and other crypto-related assets. By the way, the real Fort Knox, the one that they show you, is actually just a decoy. There's no gold there at all. None. None at all. Fort Knox, what you think, right out in Kentucky, it's actually empty. There's nothing there. It's a decoy. The new Fort Knox will be the Bitcoin reserves of the state. The new asset class to be securitized and borrowed against will be Bitcoin. The new dollar is not the old US fiat dollars. It's the new dollar 2.0 digital equivalent called US stablecoins. Those stablecoins will flood the system with new liquidity to take the prices of Bitcoin and all these other assets to new all-time highs. Also, I'm going to give you some alpha. We do know that World Liberty Fi will be tokenizing soon. Leading into that, I'm expecting record profits across the board. And that is not set to happen for at least another 2 to 4 weeks, probably 6 weeks. Again, as my thesis has been, and it is the reality of where this is headed, prices are going much higher. I'll give you another example. We even know it psychologically. The news is now warning us of a crypto bubble. They're saying things like, could it be another 2008 and 09? The sheer fact that the mainstream media is warning you of a bubble means we're not in the bubble yet. The mainstream media would never tell you that you were in a bubble if you were actually in a bubble. The opposite of what they say is reality. For example, they never warned you of a bubble in 2008 and 09. They never warned you of a bubble in 1929. So why would they warn you of a bubble now? They wouldn't. In fact, those are bullish articles. That tells me that the big hyper bubble, the big blowed up bubble, hasn't even occurred yet. We saw this in real estate in 2008 and 09 as well, where prices continue to move higher and higher and higher, and then defy gravity higher and higher and higher, and then continue to defy expectations higher and higher and higher. Now, with that being said, I've also been telling you and instructing as we continue to hit new all-time highs, take profits in your big winners, especially across the big caps. For example, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, etc. That's proven to be good advice. But in the altcoins, as the big market caps transition into the mid caps to the small caps, we have now unlocked the greatest alt season in world history. It'll be bigger than what we saw in crypto in 2021. Again, what you think about becomes your reality. The only limiting factors you have in your life are the ones you believe in. You do not need money to get rich. It's helpful, but you do not need money. All you need is a thought and an idea. Then you must change your mindset. Specifically, you must focus on a chief aim. For example, as my father and I have been raising $33.5 million and have now successfully completed the fundraise, which is your last chance to get in, fill out an app at islandproject.com. It's a guarantee for your 1000x success. See our terms and disclaimer. I had a very specific, logical, and simple chief aim. And that was within 3 years from the declaration of 1776 of the digital Noah's Ark, July 4th, 2022, that by July 4th, 2025, we would have completed the mission, which we have. Every day I woke up with the singular mission top of mind. Every day I woke up and produced content with the single state of mind and the chief aim. Every day we woke up as we began buying properties, now 6, with no bank debt, with the chief single aim. Now I position, which is why you need to onboard now, tokenization with a chief single aim, and that is to create billions of dollars of liquidity for our investors. with a specific, simple, logical chief aim through daily determinism, action, and most importantly, thought. Now, with resources, it's even easier. Sisyphus pushing the boulder now has rockets on his back. So it's a lot easier now to move forward than it was before. But the first thing you must do is change the way you think and your thinking process. Again, God has given each and every one of you the power to change your life in this moment, but you must accept it. You must believe it. You must create it into reality. You must change your mindset. To doubt yourself and your own success would be to doubt God. To lack faith would mean you have no faith. To set your own self-limiting factors and restrictions on your own mind is only to enslave yourself or free it. Today, I give you the key to free your mind. I give you the key to free your investments at islandproject.com. I give you the key to find, most importantly, purpose in a mission-led life. And I give you the key because it comes through him and not me to your salvation by dedicating and rededicating your life to Jesus Christ the King in this moment now. To say, God the Father, the Holy Spirit, Jesus Christ the King, I give my life to you. I trust you and I walk without fear, but only faith, with the chief aim of faith. I don't just believe, I expect you, Lord, to move the mountains in my own life. I've already seen them moved. I've already seen your imminent return. I have already seen myself and my loved ones that believe called up. Because it's already been put in motion. We've already walked through the door. Walk through the door. Through the valley of shadow of death with me, your general, today. Change your mindset now. Select a chief aim of your success and onboard the digital Noah's Ark. Walk through and participate in all-time high autism August, of which we will shatter the darkness of new all-time records. Buy a little Trump coin. Buy a lot of RSR. Get in to my 1000X picks. On board and roll over your retirement and 401k accounts. Walk through the door by dialing and texting and or calling Papa John, John Greene, Vice President, at 808-442-2934, then walk through the literal door of the properties we already own. Walk through to the view and walk and watch and become the sunset that sets before you. Swim with the sea turtles and get a suntan. Walk through the door with us. Again, your thought and your ideas become your physical, concrete reality. Because the time-space continuum is influenced by your thoughts and your manifestations, and specifically your chief aim and your attention and your vibration and your frequency. You'll notice as certain people step into a room and all the attention is on them. People call it charisma, but it's something bigger than that. Some call it the star quality or the X factor. It is an energetic frequency. It is a belief, not in themselves, but God. It is a release of information to the world. All money is information, by the way. All capital is information transfer. All money is a value transfer. It is energy. All human beings and what you are is energy, attention, chief aim, belief, thought, and the energetic qualities that you possess. So, if you have the God-given human right to choose, and you have free will, why would you accept something self-limiting or self-determining that you don't want in your life if you can choose something powerful and endless and experiential and purpose-driven and mission-driven And you can choose to move from darkness to salvation and choose to accept the reality that you actually want and the salvation that you desire, not through works, but through faith alone. Why would you ever not choose that? And so today you choose. You choose to walk through the door of faith. You choose to walk through your dreams. You choose to walk through to become your destiny. Again, thoughts do not recede. They move into the future through frequency. It is one of the secrets to life. The universe we cannot all see with the naked eye. The light and color spectrum, we see a fraction of the rainbow. Among us are angels. Among us are beings. Among us are spirits, both good and evil. We choose to focus on good. We choose to focus on faith and hope. God is of love. He is not of fear. Faith of a mustard seed moves and has already moved a mountain. It's not something you believe, it's already become reality. For example, if you have your sight on a certain net worth, or a relationship goal, or a spiritual goal, or a car, or a Learjet, it's not something you're hoping for, it's something that's already become. I am, God said. He is. I am is what he said. It is already in reality and already constructed. Let there be light. It is already in existence. He is the great I am. He painted through feeling and imagination, through the Creator himself, the world around us currently, the stars, the oceans, the fish, man, woman, Adam and Eve. He rose from the grave. Let there be light. He resurrected. He cured and healed the dumb and the deaf. He changed, not just thinking, but led the flock to a new I am. Become the new I am state. Understand the power that you possess through God. That to doubt your own God-given talent and power is to not have faith. I call for all of you to rise. This is the most important video that you have ever watched. Choose to walk through the door with the general today. It is the reason I spiritually give this gift from God, because it is the truth of the great I am. Now, as we set sail on the digital Noah's Ark, I, along with our team, and now 400 beautiful investors worldwide, prepare for the biggest blockchain tokenization event in world history, because he is great, because he is the I am, because his commands rule. He is the only truth. And every hope and desire that you've ever had is not something you're just thinking about. It's a door to walk through to the reality that is already in existence and has been created through not just the power of your mind, frequency, and your specific attention, but what literally is already I am. I hope this video motivated you. I've been asked a lot to do some more motivational type content. If you like this, please like and share. Please get this out to your friends and family. I believe it to be significant. And it's one of the secrets to life, your spiritual journey and success. And I know that to be truth because I'm living proof of it. And you may or may not know other people like that as well. So again, I leave you with this. How does this make you feel? How do you feel when looking at this chart. Up only. Up only. Up only. God bless you. Jesus Christ is King. Links below. Make sure you onboard today. You have a limited time to fill out an app today only. Onboard with a minimum 150 units now. Walk through the door with us. No bank debt, no downside, future income distributions, large capital gain payouts, up to 30 days comped annually at every single exclusive multi-million-dollar mansion property. More acquisitions coming, internationalization. We are the sovereign new state. We are the new 1776 America. We have already built it. It came through God. We walked through the door a long time ago. I had already walked through before we'd even raised a single dollar. I already saw it. It already was the great I am. The digital Noah's Ark was created by God. We are simply servants on that mission. Yes, I am a Christian billionaire. Along with my father, Papa John, we are the badasses leading the charge with Jesus Christ, following him alone. We serve no one else. We are here to empower you with the weapon of truth, of justice, of hope, love, and joy. We are a private ecosystem, and we are dominating for a reason. Mountains shatter before us as God moves every single mountain. And he does that in your own lives by choosing to accept what it is you want. If you want to make $10,000 this month, walk through the door. If you want to make $1 million this month, walk through the door. If you want to find the woman or the man of your dreams so you can get married and have beautiful children and be fruitful and multiply and find joy and happiness, walk through the door. Choose the reality that you accept and admonish. We rebuke you, Satan, and all evil to the reality that is not truth. Look at your reactions as you move through the day. Look at your thoughts. Be very careful the time and energy that you give. It is limited and it is finite in scope and in nature. And then more importantly, take the actions and put in the work and inputs that will give you the desired results to your success. Again, I spoke from my personal experience. The 3 major moves I've made in my life: 1, quitting my job at Merrill Lynch, I was the highest paid broker at my firm, Merrill Lynch. I was a dominator, straight out of college, straight A student, Division I water polo All-American, great on the phones, great at marketing, great at scales, quit. Gave it all up to do social media because I believed it to be the number one opportunity where my heart was, where I found passion and mission. It wasn't about the money, although I knew millions would come, tens of millions, hundreds of millions, billions. It was about something more powerful than number 2. 10 or 15 years ago, I reconfigured the entire platform to dedicate it to Bitcoin and making you rich. I penned my book. I started courses, bitcoinrich.com. I made you rich. We 1000x infinitely. Then 3, started Island Project July 4th, 1776, approximately 3 years ago, with a singular chief mission, walking through the door to own the best no bank debt beach oceanfront homes in the world, along with international assets and ski lodges, and then boom, tokenize it. Those 3 acts have personally been the most important in my life, and they have changed my life. As I mentioned, these things don't matter, but I've been walking through the door of now looking at Learjets. And that has already happened, and it's already come into reality. Because again, you walk through the door, you already see what you've become. You already see who you are. I'll leave you with this story too. The first Learjet I ever flew, I actually flew for free. I've told the story before, but it's a significant one, and my mother will tell you that this is the truth. We were at a charity event with about 300 people, 400 people, something like that. And the key number 1 prize was a private air charter to Las Vegas, Nevada. And so there were games where you're rolling the dice. There's about 400 people there. I looked at my mom and I said, "Mom, I'm winning that Learjet tonight." She kind of laughed. By the end of the night, I had won the Learjet. The story went, you had to roll the dice, and the highest number won. The highest roll. And I remember there was about 10 rounds. I made it through every round to the last. At the final roll, it was down to myself, my mother, and one other couple. And they roll the dice. And I think the number that they rolled was 11. They start cheering, hugging, and making out with each other. They thought that they had won. I turned back to my mom, wink, grin, and say, watch this. Roll it, boom, 12-1. How did I know? I had already walked through the door. In fact, before we even showed up, I remember our driver was taking us to the charity event, and I had already won the free Learjet. Again, you don't even need money to get rich. It's all walking through a door. Many of you are choosing something you don't want when you can choose something God wants for you. So I'm here to motivate you today on this beautiful, electrifying July 28th. And I hope this video motivates you to take the actions that you need to take. Join us today. Everything that I've ever presented to you is the truth, is the living hope. And we are number one in the world for a reason, because we have already become, God has, the great I am, and we serve him. I suggest you join us and walk through that door today with us. God bless. Jesus Christ is King. Links up here and down here. Call, text my dad at 808-442-2934. Make sure you hit our tiers. Crush it. Like our other amazing members, Edward M., the Brighton Group, Larry just hitting 1 million, Q, Jack, F, you know who you are. Make sure you become a part of what already is the I am, which is already in reality. We already own the properties. We've already done it. Walk through the literal physical door by making your booking and enjoy your lifestyle investment with us. Then get rich as we tokenize and our real estate portfolio hits 100, 150, 300, 500, and then $1 billion in assets. No bank debt, growing over time, with cap gains, rented, paying income distributions, and use, plus tokenization, international diversification, and a sovereign lifestyle that gives you true freedom and liberty, which is what everything America supposedly stands for. Although a lot of it has been lost, and a lot of it really isn't working. Keep in mind that your founding fathers and those that came to America to establish the 13 colonies left a land because the problems had become too great, and it was a better option to create something new. It was a better option for the pursuit of life, liberty, hope, happiness, and prosperity, to start something new. They didn't stay in Europe and try to fix it if the political system was broken. They created, as God creates, something beautiful, something new, something faith first, something God first. Just like my daughter, which was, by the way, a test. It was a test. It was a spiritual test. Again, I share the story again because my wife and I were extremely pressured to abort Faith. I named her Faith before we knew she had any special needs or problems. They said she would die. They said that she would not make it. They told us to abort, to abort, to abort, to abort. They told us we were wrong. They put fear in our heart and uncertainty, but we took that information and chose not to accept it. What we did is accept God's information. My daughter is alive. She has successfully completed her heart surgery. We did not abort. She is beautiful. She is brilliant, and she is better than ever. And she has talents and amazingness that come straight from God. Again, our reaction was to simply walk towards faith and not accept the enemy. The enemy presents fear. The enemy presents uncertainty. God is love and truth and miracles. I, my daughter, and many of you tuning in are the miracle. Anything is possible through God. Your life is eternal if you believe in Jesus Christ. You do not die. You live in the kingdom forever. That is true kingdom wealth, where the real mansions are. Walk through the door of the valley of the shadow of death, not alone, but with Jesus himself. As Leonardo da Vinci painted the Last Supper with just a single stroke, after hours of chief aim and attention, and then walked away until tomorrow. That's what you do today. I share with you that sometimes the dumber you are, the more money you make. Again, look at this chart once again. How many opportunities have you had to get rich? 1,000? 1,000,000? 10 million? Look at the chart. How does it make you feel? You could have bought at any moment along the way and you're rich. Again, stop making it hard. Stop using the world's logic and trust and have faith in God and pull the freaking trigger on the 1000X. Subscribe and fund islandproject.com. Stop hesitating. Walk towards the light. Choose life. Choose freedom. Choose liberty. Choose hope. Choose love and share it like a lightning rod across the universe as it emanates through all of us collectively. Because again, your thoughts, your emotional state, and your feelings do not recede. They propel forward into the reality of the great I am, which is the future and the past, present combined, because none of that is even real as well. It is all an eternal state. Become the eternal state of truth. And I have just delivered the word of God through the Holy Spirit, Jesus Christ the King. We are the billionaire class ballers for a reason, fighting on your behalf for your daily victory of salvation, providing you the tools and resources you need to lead. Many of you perceive me as leader. My father, he's a great leader. You are all leaders. We've built you up. God is building you up. You are leading. You are the manifestation of the tidal wave that changes life and reality. You are the living hope of God. God bless. Jesus Christ is Lord. What an honor. Join us here at the Digital Noah's Ark. Be light. Be the glory. Be the up only. Be the autistic, all-time high August, and join us and join me. It is an honor to serve. Thank you, Careful Carpenter, the cat. Thank you so much. God bless you with those with eyes and ears to see. John, God bless you. Gene, God bless you. What a wonderful, amazing spiritual day. What a gift to be alive. If you have air in your lungs, you have been given the opportunity to walk through that door. As I've once shared with you, my brother Cody walked with Jesus when he was dying. Jesus told him he would live approximately 3 years because he had more work to do to share the gospel than he would die. My brother walked through that door and lived approximately 3 years before dying in my arms and taking his last breath, and then translating himself into the universe as I felt him leave into the eternal kingdom of hope. Because again, many of you are fixated on thoughts and things that you don't want, and you've been programmed and self-limited in your own desires and controlled by somebody else. That other person, folks, is Satan. That other person that wants you limited, living in fear, without hope, questioning your judgment and your instincts, failing to take actions, is not God. No, that's your government. That's Satan. That is evil. That's your friends and family members that have given up on themselves, given up on their hopes and dreams, and don't want to see anyone else achieve what they couldn't. Well, I'm here to tell you and them that you can. I'm here to tell you and them and all of you that you can change your heart Again, God knows your heart. It comes from the Spirit and your heart. Your heart is your thoughts. What you believe is your reality. The door you walk through becomes your state of being and your great I am. Your attention and your focus and the electricity of your frequency and vibration is your current life and reality. Just like as a Christian, we choose life through God eternally, and we choose the kingdom of God. We choose the living hope, and we choose to walk with him, and we have walked through the door. It is of free will. Hell and eternal damnation is a choice. It is not punishment, and it is not judgment of God. It is a human choice, just as Adam and Eve chose to receive the fruit when they were forbidden from the tree of knowledge. You have a choice. I have presented to you God's will. I have presented to you the living hope. We have presented along with you the truth. And I will leave you with this. Like, share, and leave a comment. And I want to hear the miracles in your own life and the things that have been unexplainable that only come through God, and share some of those experiences. Also, if you're struggling with self-limiting factors, negativity, or thought processes that don't benefit you, or problems that you're facing, list those too. I'll actually do my best in the community. We can all help out on how you can change that thought and mindset. Again, a lot of people think that I'm focused on money, when in reality, my entire focus has always been on faith, God, hope, truth, and tools, in a progression to lead to become the greatest purpose-filled mission statement person that you can become, so that you have that gift of faith first, God first. Again, that is the propulsion. That is the secret. You know, there's so many motivational speakers out there and people, and they've got it half right. They've got half the truth, but they don't know the other side of it. Again, there's a lot of people successful in this world, but they're missing key purpose. They're missing a mission statement. They're missing that electricalness inside of them. They're missing, where's the passion? You find that, everything else becomes attracted to you. And again, I don't believe in the law of attraction. I only believe in God. The people that promote those other thoughts or philosophical movements have a half-truth baked into the higher truth. Again, God said he is I am, meaning that it already is. It's not something that hasn't become. It is I am. So when a negative thought comes in your mind or a self-limiting factor presents itself, then notice your reaction to how you behave to both good and bad news, or even a news article or life on a daily basis. Pay attention to your reaction. Because again, if you have self-confidence in your life and you know the I am, and you know the mountain's already been moved, you know you've already accomplished your goals, you know you're already there, that it's already in existence, you'll react a lot differently to the day to day. And that is what sets apart. People always ask me, what's the secret, Chris? How I've had major hedge fund managers reach out to my father, major Wall Street people that we know, and they're like, what you and your son have done is unbelievable. It is so unconventional, it doesn't even make sense. Like, how did you pull it off? God. And by the way, the reason it was possible is because it is unconventional. Because it's what sets you, and this is you, I'm not even speaking to myself, you, the one in a million that operates, reacts, thinks, and walks through the door differently from everybody else. You'll find there's no one else walking through, and there's literally no competition. Getting rich is easy. Starting a business is easy. Finding your dream woman or your dream man is easy. Finding joy and hope and love. Finding positive reactions to negative events is easy. When my brother died, I could have gotten depressed and not done anything. What I decided to do along with my father is to glorify God through him and to honor my brother by building the best darn project in the world, which is what we did. In fact, the negative turned into a great light and a great positive. It's actually the thing I'm the most proud of, not the money or not the acquisitions, not the fact that I'm the first Christian billionaire super baller along with my father. It's not any of that. Is that we've turned a negative into a positive that showered light and glory to the King and not ourselves. And also honored my late brother, who told me when he was dying and looked my father and I in the eye and said, do great by your members and make Island Project big and do a great job of it and just blow it up. Blow it up in a big way, Christopher. Make it huge. Do it for me. Do it for your members. Be the light in the world. Show them what I know you have inside of you as your brother. You've got a gift, show it. Radiate it, 1000x, electrify it. Be unafraid to be misunderstood. Throw your chairs in the pool. Be wild, be crazy. Jump on the Learjet, drive the freaking Lamborghini, let it electrify. Go bold, which is what we did. So again, you can choose negative. If my wife and I had been choosing negative, then we would have aborted our daughter and we would have lived with the greatest mistake of our lives and also the greatest sin. But we chose against that. We chose to believe God, not the world, not the scientists, not the doctors. When I refused to comply in 2020 and turned away millions of dollars, and by the way, even lost millions of dollars in 2020 for various reasons, because I would not comply. These are things I've never even shared publicly, but I just would not comply. I chose to accept a different reality. By the way, God made fruitful and multiplied any losses that I had short-term experienced, and they 1000x'd on top of it after, because it's a test, just like now. You are being tested by God. There is a reason why, if you're not ready, God will hold you back. Do you understand? He held me back for years. I was not ready. You might feel like it's not happening. It's because God is molding you. Have faith. You are a sculpture. He is refining you. He is making you stronger. If my brother had never died at 39 in my arms of stage 4 or 5 bone cancer and had half his body sawed off and walked with Jesus, we would not have the digital Noah's Ark today. If those bad things had not happened, I would not be the man that I currently am. I would have not walked through the door into the great I am with such aggressiveness. I would have not had my come to Jesus moment. I would have not known God as well. I would have not brought thousands, now probably tens of thousands of people worldwide, many of you tuning into Jesus. Many of you would not even believe. I would have not showered through him the knowledge. It would have never happened. The passion never would have been there. It wouldn't have existed. The spark of the match would have not ignited. You can choose how you react. This is something I've learned even from my father. I've had great parents, both my father and mother. They are electrifying. If you've ever met my mother, her energy level. If you think I'm 1000x, I'm incomparable even to her. She steps into a room, electrified. That is no joke if you've ever met my mom. Electrification, all attention on her. Beautiful, confident, wonderful woman. Electrical. I'm kind of a combination of both my father and my mother, wrapped into one. Again, you can choose to change everything today in the moment and walk through the door, and it's really easy. Dear God, I pray for this audience that they would walk through your door, the great I am today, and give their life to you, Jesus Christ, the King. We repent of our sins. We call on the amazing, courageous success of everybody here tuning in. We call on how to choose how we react to life and the problems that are presented to us, that we view them not as problems, but as just work and obstacles and glorification to the great I am. Walking through the door of not our victory, but your victory, that we find passion and continue to be hope and love filled and joyful filled on our mission here at the Digital Noah's Ark. And I pray for everyone here tuning in, their lives, their family, their children, the problems, the successes that they have, their businesses, their challenges, and all the great things that they experience on a daily basis. And we thank you for the little things, a roof maybe over our head, a toilet, as many people don't even have toilets around the world. The fact that we were even able to shower, that we have food, that our legs work. My brother's legs didn't work. He's praying for something everyone else had. And even today, no matter how negative of a mindset you might currently be in, you can change all of that in a single moment. Remember, somebody's praying for what you already have. It might be as simple as breathing properly or having vision or sight that other people might have. So again, if you're down or feeling sorry for yourself or you're feeling wronged by the world, newsflash, you ain't any different from anybody else. In fact, I've been asked this on private calls a lot. They say, Christopher, you make it look easy. You make it look easy. How do you do it? You work your ass off. You're constantly working, innovating. You're this crazy entrepreneur. You've pulled off the impossible many times. I've been following you for years. You've made me a lot of money. Thank you. Your crypto advice has paid huge dividends. How do you do it? Because it must have been hard, with your brother dying and his body being sawed in half and family problems and, You know, you just had a daughter with special needs. They told you to abort. She had to go through major open heart surgery. Even your son Austin was saved by God in his early age by the glory of God. And my first son had problems too when he was born. How have you done it? I mean, how have you been able to manage all that stress and the emotion? And how do you not wake up just depressed and not doing anything? Well, I said, you know, the sign of a true professional is somebody who actually goes through the same life problems as everybody else and makes it look freaking easy, who always succeeds and just walks through the fire and tackles every obstacle through faith and God first and overcomes. That's the difference between an amateur and somebody who's a pro. You'll notice this about my father. One thing about my father that I truly admire, and you'll know about him, is he's extremely steadfast. He never veers from the plan. He always sticks to it, no matter what. We could be in a storm with lightning bolts coming down, pigs flying, and it could be the end of the world, and we'll stay on course at God's will, never bending. I've seen my father in many instances in his own life where he's had his bad things happen to him. I mean, think about it. He lost his son, which is irreplaceable. There's been other moments in his life and challenges. I've seen my dad never waver. I've seen him get hit. I've seen him been bloodied. I've seen him almost, you know, down and out, but I've always witnessed him recover. You understand? And he's always held firm and stuck to the plan as God laid it out in front of him. So again, steadfastness of hand, even with investments. That chart that I showed you seems like a crazy squiggly line. I mean, how many ups and downs have we had? But if you stuck with the plan, you're freaking rich. You're diamond nuts rich. That's how it works. It ain't a straight shot. No, it's bumpy, dude. You're going to get fired at. You're going to lose loved ones. Bad things are going to happen to you. Things are going to happen to you, but the difference between the non-success and the success, the amateur and the professional, is the person that has the same life experiences and the same problems, sometimes maybe even worse than the average individual, but overcomes, no one even notices, and makes it look so easy. Because that's a measure of true, and that's a testament to true faith and true life and what it means to be a human being and to advance, I believe, human civilization to something amazing and special, and of course, serving the kingdom of God. And those are the things that I stand for, and those are the things that I love and believe in. And I know are truth. And so today's video is really about motivation and spirit. And also, I just revealed to you too what's going to happen in August. I hope you're not missing out. I hope that you're on board. I hope that you're in. I hope you rolled over your 401ks and retirement accounts. If you haven't yet, man, you're going to miss out on the biggest life-changing experience of your own life in the history of the universe. And not just the world, but literally the eternality of the kingdom. You're going to miss out on everything because you chose to believe something different that wasn't real. And what we built is not just physical and real, and it is owned outright with no bank debt today, which is how God designed it. But it's a physical reality of the kingdom, just like the ark was very real. When my members open up their property doors, they're experiencing just like if you were sitting on the ark of the gopher wood constructed by Noah and his sons. All of our beach and oceanfront properties, skiing on the mountaintop of Zion, so to speak, of Park City, Utah, what you're in is reality. It's not an idea, because again, it starts with that, but as you walk through and accept and choose the great I am, it becomes the concrete existence of your life. I'm excited, very excited actually. I have more energy levels than I've ever had before. My dad's like, hey, are you tired? Because you've been working really hard the last couple of years. I'm like, actually, I'm feeling great. The exciting part to me is showing others how it's done and helping to lead by example, and to give whatever gifts God's given me, just like you have gifts, to share it, to raise you up so you become great leaders of our society. Again, every member of Island Project is a leader, brings specialized talents, beauty, love, and hope, and joy, and a common ecosystem and ethos, and a belief to the table as we sit at the table of God. All of you are constructing the reality that you want. You've built it, because you pulled the trigger and went all in and made the faith first investment and bet on yourself and God more importantly, and you moved the mountain through God because it had already been moved. Do you understand? God bless. I revealed the secret to your opportunity today and to the journey of acceptance to the life you want to live. As I always say, I mean, hey, if you've got a choice between a Pinto and a Lambo, I don't know about you, I'm choosing the freaking Lambo. And I say that from a spiritual perspective, even though I own Lambos and soon to be multiple Learjets. Because again, you have a choice, and that choice is singular. And that choice of what you choose is right in front of you. God bless, I got hundreds of more hats going out, and coffee mugs, merch, other amazing ideas, and I look so forward this year of just showing you not what I'm capable of, but what God is. Because you will see an elevation event, as you've seen and witnessed through me, because it came through God, from broke to abasement to nothing to laughter to mockery to rich to now this thing is going to a whole new level that it's going to be shocking for the world to perceive even how it's even possible. It's already been done. I saw this from the very beginning because it came from God, even back in the old days when broke in a basement. Because I am those things. You understand? I always have been. And so are you. So look and pray deep within your own heart now. Do it after the close of this video and ask the I am who you are. And then choose to accept your fate and your reality of the 1000X movement that is the digital Noah's Ark, here with General Greene and Papa Diamond Nut Senor at 808-442-2934, and go all in. Just like my 400 plus investors from 12 different nation states all around the world, like Darla Taylor, who I just sent an email to earlier this morning, and Natasha, you know who you are, and everyone else. Great men, women, fathers, sons, mothers, daughters, young men, young women, married, unmarried, some divorced, some who have also lost children, who've all been through the battles of life. But the difference is you chose hope. You chose God. And you walked with faith and nothing else, because it's the only thing you need. Faith first, God first, and at some point in the future, my daughter, I'm going to dedicate an entire foundation to her and other special needs children as part of our charitable work and focus. As, hey man, when you create all these resources, become the first Christian baller billionaire, I mean, spread the love, baby. 1000 freaking X. I'm here because I believe in you. I'm here because God put me here to share this message. You're here to receive this message and take the action needed to walk through the door of your own life, to not just be good or not just think about it, but to become great and step into the future along with me. And then, after speaking with my father and funding immediately and funding at islandproject.com, walk through the literal door of one of our amazing already acquired mansions and enjoy. But don't just enjoy. I want you to be the lights of the world. I want you to lift people up. I want you to be the leader as you are and the example. And I want you to show others how it's done. To God be with you all. I'm rooting for you. I'm here to help you along with my Father. We are the victory through Christ. You are his victory, and you are the lights of the world. Have children and be fruitful and multiply. We need you. We are the Christian Mafia billionaire superclass. And I love you all. God bless.